Hello everyone, welcome to our brand new tutorial series. In this series, we will build an English to Amharic translator. Before we jump straight into the coding part, let's look at what we are going to build. So let's scroll to the bottom of the page and run this cell. Okay, so let's say hello people and enter. Alright, so the Amharic translation is Salamta Soj. It is almost correct translation. In this particular example, the model seems to be translating word to word, hello to Salamta and people to Soj. So for our non-Amharic speakers, let me open up Google Translator and test if the translation is correct. So let me copy the Amharic answer and translate it to English. So our Google Translator gave us greetings people. So basically hello can be translated as greeting in Amharic, but if I remove the last letter, which is ta, it will actually give us correct translation. Yeah, so our translator is working, but just to make sure, let me do one more example. This time let's do question, how are you doing these days, and enter. Okay, so the translation is, I think it's expressed the English translation, so which is correct translation. So let's close this. Alright, now we know our model is working and we have seen what we are going to build. Let's look at what we'll need. So the first thing we're going to need is pre-trained model. For this task, we will be using Google's MT5 model. There are different types of MT5 pre-trained model and you can find them from Hugging Face. So let's go to Hugging Face. huggingface.co_habteo. This is my profile. It just has few English to Amharic translation datasets. Okay, now let's search for our pre-trained model. So the name of pre-trained model is Google/MT5. Yeah, as you can see, there are different MT5 pre-trained models, but we are interested in the smaller version because it is lightweight and fast. But if you have a good GPU, it is better if you use either the base model or the larger model to get better results, and the steps will actually be the same. You just need to change the name of the model. So let's look at the smaller version. Here you can find so many important information about the model, like how many languages it has been trained with, and the name of the language, which dataset is used for training different spaces created from this model. And if you click on files, you can see different files and their size. So these are the files that we are going to use, and also you can see how to use this model. If you click on use this model, so basically there are two ways to use this model, but we will be using the second method where we load the model directly. So the other important thing we're going to need is Google Colab. I suggest you use Colab because it provides free GPU for you to train your model, and if you can purchase the Pro version, you can actually get very powerful GPUs. So in order to use Colab, you just need to have a Google account, and if you have one, just go to colab.research.google.com and I think you're good to go. So we can get into the interesting part, which is building the translator model. Okay, so let's start by creating new notebook. To do this, just go to File and click on Create New Notebook. And make sure you are using GPU. In order to do this, click on Runtime, then click on Change Runtime and choose one of GPUs available. For this tutorial, I will be using T4 GPU. You can use whatever you want, and you can use whatever you want. And finally, let's connect the runtime. Okay, that is done. So the first thing we need is to install necessary libraries. On this project, we'll be using transformers, dataset, and sentence piece. So let me install these libraries: pip install transformers, datasets, and sentence piece. Okay, now that we have installed the necessary libraries, so let's create our model name. So the model name will be Google /mt5 small. So if you want to use the base model, you can just change the small to base, and that's it. So we'll be using the small model. Okay, now we need to import some classes from transformers library. So let's do that. From transformers, import auto tokenizer, auto model for sequence to sequence LM. So the next step would be creating tokenizer. Tokenizer is equals to auto tokenizer dot from pretrained. Then we pass model name. So this will load tokenizer. Alright, now that we have loaded tokenizer, we can test if it's working or not. Let's take example sentence. Send hello, this is test sentence. And we need to convert this into IDs. In order to do that, we need to use encode method from tokenizer. So input IDs is equals to tokenizer dot encode, and we need to pass the sentence. So send. Then we can print these input IDs to see what the outputs are. So let's print it. Okay, now we see a bunch of numbers. Here each number represents each word in the sentence, and that's what we need. So the tokenizer is working. Now let's load our model. So model is equal to auto model for sequence for sec to sec lm dot from pretrained, and we need to pass model name. This may take a while depending on your internet speed, since the model is quite large. Okay, now we have imported the model. Let's test if it's working or not. We can use the above sentence to test the model. So send hello, this is test sentence. Input IDs tokenizer.encode, send. Return tensors PyTorch. So here we are specifying that we are using PyTorch. In order to get output from model, you need to use a special method called generate. So let's assign it to model out. So model out is equal to model.generate. Then we need to pass the generated IDs. So input IDs. So if I print the model output, I should get an array of numbers. Alright, that's great. So we got output as expected from the model. So we have confirmed that both tokenizer and the model are imported correctly. So we'll, in today's lecture at this, in the next video, we'll dive deeper into tokenizers, how they work, and what those numbers are, and also how to get different useful information from the model. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And I will see you in the next video.